So it looks like we have another update and chapter to the entire Roman Reigns vs. WWE situation. We went over the full Roman Reigns story a few weeks ago, and you guys showed a lot of support on that video, so we appreciate that. But we got a big update to the Roman Reigns story. To sum up the whole story real fast, just in case you haven't seen our previous video, Roman Reigns was iffy about working in the Performance Center during a time like this. Word got out that someone was sick the day of WrestleMania tapings, and Roman pulled out of WrestleMania at the very last second to keep him and his family safe. Since then, we haven't heard much from Roman Reigns, who released a video to Instagram telling his side of the story and responding to the rumors, but he has been silent since then. Then after that, we had a series of mixed reports saying that WWE is not angry with Roman Reigns, just disappointed. Then there was other reports that claimed WWE is furious with Roman Reigns. Then lastly, there were reports that claim everything was fine and that WWE understood Roman's decision. Then a few weeks after that, word got out that Roman Reigns was banned from WWE television. All mentions of his name was completely off limits. At that time, we said that we'll have to wait a few weeks to see if that report was true. And it most definitely looks like it was true. Roman's name has not been mentioned at all, and WWE is taking it to even new levels by basically erasing Roman Reigns from history. The most talked about thing coming out of Raw wasn't anything that actually happened on Raw. It was the Money in the Bank highlight that had everyone talking. The number one spot for WWE's top Money in the Bank cash-in was Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31. WWE showed a highlight clip of this big moment of WWE history. It was the first time anyone had cashed in at WrestleMania, so it was quite the big deal. Seth Rollins interrupted the main event of Brock Lesnar vs. Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship and made it into a triple threat match. In the match, Seth Rollins curb stomps Brock Lesnar and won the match by pinning Roman Reigns. Well, in the edited moment from Raw of this same exact moment, we see Rollins curb stomp Brock Lesnar. The screen then fades to black, and then we see Seth Rollins holding up the WWE Championship. So, for someone that never saw the actual footage of the match, they may be really confused because the pinfall was never shown. The Raw clip basically makes it look like Seth Rollins pinned Brock Lesnar to become the WWE Champion. But we all know that wasn't the case. Seth did pin Roman Reigns, but that entire Roman Reigns pinfall was censored and edited out of the highlight. WWE hasn't really said much about the Roman Reigns situation in weeks, but actions speak louder than words. The fact that they're fully editing out Roman Reigns from big highlights that he was involved with is quite concerning and brings up a lot of questions. A few weeks back, we were all thinking that WWE didn't want to mention him only because he wasn't active, so bringing him up in conversation really doesn't add anything to the story. And that's a good point. I think we can all understand that perspective from the WWE. But fully editing the man out of WWE highlights that he was involved in is borderline disrespectful and highly concerning. The way Roman has been treated by WWE lately, you would think he quit out of nowhere and went over to AEW or something like that, because that's how badly they're removing him from everything. Roman is basically getting the same treatment that Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley got, of just completely being erased from WWE history. Real quick, if you made it this far and enjoy what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. A large percentage of our viewers aren't even subscribed, so take a second to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of the new daily videos. Let's get back into the story. So, with all this drama of Roman being edited out of clips, I wanted to do a bit of research just to see how true this whole situation was. So I went back to the May 1st edition of Friday Night Smackdown. Since October 2019, Smackdown has had this new opening intro that featured all of SmackDown superstars with the Smackdown theme song playing in the background. Roman Reigns has always been highly featured throughout this entire Smackdown intro, so I wanted to go back and see if they were still using the intro with Roman Reigns. And it turns out that at least for the May 1st edition of SmackDown, they completely removed the SmackDown intro from the start of the programming. Usually WWE airs the WWE Forever intro, followed up by the dedicated intro specifically for SmackDown, but that's not the case anymore. WWE aired the WWE Forever intro, and then we just immediately cut to Michael Cole welcoming us to SmackDown. So that's a bit suspicious as well. WWE was using the SmackDown intro with Roman Reigns for the majority of April, but May comes and now the complete intro is removed. It just doesn't add up. So if removing Roman Reigns from all clips is the new thing for WWE, then they probably stopped using the SmackDown intro for now, until they get a new intro made. That doesn't show him at all. I also noticed that Ali is in the SmackDown intro, and if he really is the SmackDown hacker, like a majority of fans believe, then it's possible that he could get edited out as well. So be on the lookout for that. There's really two ways we can go from here. WWE probably wants to erase Roman Reigns from our memories, so that when he comes back, it'll really be a huge surprise. Just get him out of our minds, don't mention him, don't show him, pretend you're angry with him, so that we'll all be caught off guard with his return. Or the other way is that WWE is just legitimately upset with him, and they're doing all these things to him because they're actually furious with him. It can really go either way. Is WWE faking this whole drama with Roman and WWE to catch us off guard for a surprise return in the future? It's most definitely a possibility, so we can't write that off at all. But on the other hand, could they actually be furious with him behind the scenes? That's possible as well. So it's just really hard to wrap our heads around what's going on here. Roman's last public comments came on April 26th during a brief interview. But when it comes to the WWE drama, he hasn't spoke on it since March 30th. Even former Shield partner Jon Moxley showed support for Roman Reigns and his decision. Moxley had this to say in a recent interview. I mean, this is unprecedented times, man. This is crazy. I mean, you hear about all these other eras and people went through the Great Depression and wars and all that stuff. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so our generation has never had to deal with any kind of struggle or tough choices or anything like this to this degree. So it's crazy that we're actually living through something like this. And I would not judge anybody's decision about things they do. I think definitely in his situation, I think it was definitely the smart thing to do, and I support that decision 100%. I think it was the right move. So Roman has the support of fellow wrestlers across different companies. We just don't have a clear answer on how WWE feels about the entire situation. The only thing we have from WWE's side and how they feel about the Roman Reigns vs. WWE drama is how WWE is removing him from everything. So that's not a good sign at all. It's just really weird and strange to see arguably WWE's most popular superstar erased from history because he's sitting out to protect his family. If you don't want to mention his name on TV, that's understandable. But going out of your way to edit him out of key moments in history and his own career does seem like a bit of an overreaction. WWE also left Roman Reigns out of the latest Make-A-Wish video as well, so that's another thing that stands out. As far as any other updates on Roman Reigns' return to the WWE, there is still no new information. It doesn't seem like he's returning anytime soon at all, especially with the new news that fans may be allowed into the Performance Center in the coming weeks. That may be a huge turnoff for Roman Reigns and only delay his return even more. But what are your thoughts on everything going on with the WWE versus Roman Reigns situation? Do you like how WWE is removing Roman Reigns from just about everything, or do you think it's wrong? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on so you won't miss any new videos, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.